But okay. Now we can go back out and cook. Truth is, we need some more firewood before we really get started on this meal. We're gonna let our water heat up. In the meantime, we're gonna just add some wood to this fire that is actually dying down, which is not a good thing. We might even get a little bit of it and put it under our fly over there. Yeah, but even more than getting this burning, I think we need to get a big piece or two burning. And that'll make us a nice fire. Cooking in the cold out here does something to your head. For a few minutes, the fire takes over, the cold fades, the noise fades, and the only thing that matters is getting food ready. Out here, this isn't comfort. It's fuel, heat, calories, and something warm to focus your attention on. And once you've eaten, the solitude settles in differently. The night feels quieter, slower, more honest. Because without the fire and without the food, this night looks very, very different. You might not be able to see me that good because of the headlamp, but oh my gosh. You gotta take a look at this. This is just so good. It is giving me a bit of heartburn because it's got some kick. Because it's gotten so cold out here. I'll check the temperature in a little bit. But it's about 9 or 9:30 p.m. and I've adjusted the fire. You can see, maybe not with last thing to do is lick the fork and the spoon clean. Take those in the cutting board in the tent with me.
Oh, and then get bundled up. You know, I come out here to prove something to myself, to show something to my kids, and to feel something.
I think it's that feeling you get out here alone in nature. That sense of self.
Alright, I'll see you right before we get to bed. So, just to be safe on freezing cold nights like this, I got this thing. Reactor Extreme Liner. Fresh socks. My favorite camo sweats. Oh, my favorites. They're so favorites. Oh, they're so favorites. So, I found the instructions and you're supposed to go inside this liner. So far, so good. Oh my gosh. Where have you been all night? Dear sleeping bag. Alright. Now we're going to remove anything from these pockets. And we're going to turn these jeans and a few other pieces of soft clothes. We're going to turn them into a, what do you call it? A pillow. Condensation from my breath. But, we're going to call it a night. Save the batteries on our devices. Try to wake up very early and get back after it. Alright, talk to you soon. Alright, a quick update is it's about 4 in the morning, and we've had lower than normal batteries on a few devices, and cell phone's dead, and this GoPro, we're on our second battery right now, and it's less than 50. We're definitely gonna need to use the solar charger and plug it in. And our sleep has definitely been medium at best, in part due to the cold. Well, mostly due to the cold. So we're gonna go back to sleep until about 6:30 or 7. We're gonna sleep in a bit, let the sun rise and warm up the area, and then we're gonna see about eating a little something and get on the road. Oh, I slept in, and look, here's what I did at night. There's a drawstring. I pulled this up like this, just up on my head, and I pulled that drawstring tight, and that's how I slept right there. So I was completely insulated head to toe. Whew. But I'll tell you what, I heard a tiny drizzle this morning. But you see this side of the tent? That sunlight is so welcome. But that drizzle made possibly a hot breakfast, a hot coffee, a lot harder. So we're gonna pack our bags up pretty much completely, and then we're gonna investigate whether or not we can make a coffee. All right. tiny bit, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Paper, catch paper, good. All right. We don't want to get too quick on pulling all this wood on top of the paper. But we do have a good amount of sticks here. Oh. This is going to be so good. Just to warm up my cold hands. Once I get this fire going. I will go get some water at the creek. We're gonna build the fire up a bit. We're gonna pack up camp, but then we're gonna hang out because it's sunny, and we're gonna see if we can charge some of our gear with the solar blocks, because that's really the bottleneck right now. It's not water, it's not food, it's battery life and all the filming equipment. So if we have to, when we do the long hike back through the canyon and back around, we might take a 1 hour break to charge things if we can't get the solar block to work. Last thing to do is pour this water right here on the fire, even though it's already pretty close to out. Then we're going to crumple those bottles up, put them in the top of our bag, and we're going to say goodbye to this site. I don't really have any words for it. I've been thinking about my brother a lot today, about my friend Mitchell Smith, who some of my friends know. He passed on at a relatively young age, as did my brother, and they were both big outdoorsmen. They were both loved this kind of stuff, and for them is really part of the reason I do this, because for Mitchell's kids, for Alex's nieces and nephews, for all my friends in scouting, all my friends in the outdoor world, and all my friends who don't get out, I just hope this is a good angle into what it's like, what it feels like, what you have to go through to get to these amazing, enjoyable spots. Because right now the sun is up. It's probably 10:30, 11 a.m. and it feels beautiful. This morning it was tough, but right now I'm out alone on this ridge by myself. I've been hearing owls at night, coyotes at night, woodpeckers in the morning, and just the beauty of the nature, the solitude is amazing. And you don't get out this far without preparation, without a little bit of endurance and a little bit of sacrifice. And we did not sleep well, but we're going to carry on. We're going to go deeper into the canyon, and we're going to see what we can see before we get to our next site. All right.
All right, we're back on the trail, and feels good to leave that site nice and clean. Fire out, but we're gonna have to make good time on these segments because we got a later start than we wanted.
So we made the decision to backtrack to the bridge and go down the river basin back to the canyons complex because this was going to give us the most time in the scenic deep canyons, and we're also going to see the rest of the backcountry trail this afternoon and this evening when we get to our second site. So it was going to be either backtrack this morning to get to the canyons or go the long way today, get to the canyons later, and then backtrack down that trail. So we decided to go ahead and get our backtracking out of the way so we could have the most time in the canyons exploring them possible. So we made good time on the approximately 4-mile hike back to the Deep Canyons complex, and we went right in to the first set of canyons just to explore during this beautiful part of the day. We also took the occasional break to get a little aerial photography of this amazing terrain. You can really get lost in the beauty, both from the ground and from the sky, back up here, deep in the canyons. And we enjoyed a good couple of hours here, exploring every single canyon in the system. But we have more hiking to do. We've got to make our way out of here. We've got to get to our next site tonight.
Oh. Oh. This is cool. A little spot where two canyons connect, create this little tabletop rock.
So after exploring the deep canyons and having a nice little rest, we decided it was time to leave the Deep Canyons area and head back into the backcountry and link up to the backcountry trail and make our way to our second campsite.
There's a lot of elevation on this side of the canyons. That last segment was ridiculous, and it's still uphill. I'm getting back up on the ridges back here. I'm trying to make a good pace right now, but truth is it's hard with this pack and so much elevation. I'm sweating big time, but we're pretty much a race against the sunset right now. This trail just keeps going and going, and I mean, as the sun goes down, it's so easy to imagine it going a different way. I mean, I've had 2 or 3 almost incorrect turns in the last 2 miles. This part of the trail is definitely the least used in the whole park, and this site we're going to is probably the furthest removed from everything. Man, it just keeps going and going back here. I mean, am I gonna ever get to this site? We made it. Site 1. Oh, right over here. Let's go check out the site. I honestly wasn't sure if we were gonna make it all the way back here before sunset, but looks like we got a good 30 or 40 minutes left. We got a little fire pit here. Nice area, nice and flat. Oh, we're gonna have to unload and inspect this backpack injury, and get to collecting some firewood, get ready for tonight, get set up. Day 2, night 2. Tell you how good it feels to take that pack off. Oh, my shoulders. Oh, wow. Okay, let's go get set up, get some firewood.
We decided that for tonight we were going to get the campsite set up as soon as possible, the fire set up as soon as possible, and the cooking started as soon as possible, just to be ahead of the curve as far as light and temperature goes. And so we got a lot done before the sun went down.
Okay, so we are going to start this fire before it gets too dark. You can see that's the sun over there. It's below the horizon. We don't have much daylight left. There we go. There we go. That's coals are looking good. We're gonna refuel in a minute. Add some more wood to the fire, that's for sure. And as the water warms up, we're gonna warm up. catch up in a minute. That's the most coyotes I've heard in a long time. And that's a lot closer than I was expecting. Wow. We're gonna have to keep our eyes and our ears out for those guys.
So I just woke up and it's 5:30 in the morning. Listen to those coyotes. That's crazy. Good morning. It is cold, but not bearably freezing. We're gonna see if we can't get a good fire started right away. By the way, the coyotes were an all-night thing. You can still hear some. You could hear them when I woke up. You can hear them all night. Alright, let's go get a little bit more firewood. Get this thing started back up. Okay, making a little nest. Go ahead and use all the rest of our lint. Fluff it. This is, imagine we were in an even colder scenario where you just needed the heat. And then also imagine it was wet. Right? So you had to use this flint and steel. Look at that. We have some smoke. Hold on, this is beautiful. No flint and steel needed. Instead of even the flint and steel, we'll see if we can get it to relight. Let's identify where that smoke's coming from. Down here, so there's definitely some coals. Right there. Look at that, a red coal. I don't know if you can see it, but there's one right down in there. We're gonna try to relight the whole fire based off this little guy. Put a little lint right on that gap. Yeah, there we are. I see you, Cole. He was hiding under the gray. Look at that little guy we were hiding in there. He's right there. You can't even see him. With no light, it's better. So we take our lint and we just put him right there next door. This will start in no time with a little bit of billows. Look at that. Not a match used on this whole camping trip. Not even flint and steel this morning. All right, let's keep loading it with fuel before we have it burn out. All right. Oh, this fire's just in time to thaw my fingers and my toes out. Just in time. Oh, they're so stiff, so cold. They weren't even that cold in the tent when I was in the sleeping bag, but the moment I got out to go to the bathroom, everything started freezing pretty quickly. because we're in the middle of that night. Even though it's 5:30 a.m., it's been getting colder and colder and colder. That sun coming up is going to be key. I will say this morning fire beats climbing back in bed from 5:30 to 6:30 a.m. Hiding from the cold. Instead of hiding from the cold, it's better to fight the cold with some heat. Right. It's getting to be my favorite time. Coffee time. This coffee is earned. Drip by drip. Looks cloudy, but that's just the smoke rising off this hot coffee. Oh. That's gonna get me going for the day. Alright. We're packing up camp. We're gonna pour some water on here. Sun is coming up. Man. You think like right now, like 7 a.m. would not be coyote hour, but that was crazy. They are just, there's like a, so the trail goes along here and there's a drop off and they are just down in there. I guarantee it. This is how I make sure the fire's out, because I don't have a lot of water. And I put it on there and it was still smoking a little bit. I take this sticks, and this is how I totally get these logs out. And then I take the dirt that I've dug up, like this, and I sprinkle it on the fire. Any coals, I just put them out with a wet sand. So you just do this process with each log. Dig up wet sand and it puts the log out, trust me. Then you use that wet sand to put out your fire. And see now, no smoke. Pretty much sand covering the whole thing. We may add a little bit more, but that's triple insurance because we already wet it. We already put out each log individually. The big ones, that is. And now we'll add a little more sand wherever there's gray. That fire is officially out. That is wet sand covering the whole bottom of it. I am very confident that fire is out. There's so much moisture in this fire pit now. Nowhere for them to jump or go. All right, let's get on the trail quick. On this corner, and I noticed this in the ground in front of me. Do you notice that? All right, this is new since I've been here yesterday. This ground is clear, clawed up, and then right here, there's a bunch of wet dirt exposed. To me, it looks like maybe some kind of battle or fracas went down. Could have been coyotes wrestling each other. Could have been some other critter, but it looks a little big for other animals. But yeah, all this is new since I've been by here. Look at that. Right as I'm talking. Right as I'm talking to you. I look in front of me and there's a deer. A white-tailed deer. He's right there. I don't know if you can see him. We're gonna walk slow. You may see his tail. He's up around the corner. That deer's a reminder that the smaller deer, the younger deer, that's what the coyotes often go for.
last note on coyotes. You know, all that howling and cackling. Imagine being a family of deer, hearing that on 2 or 3 sides of you. I think part of it is to stir up fear in their prey. You know, you're a family of deer, you're a young, small deer. You've heard stories of losing relatives to coyotes. I definitely think last night they were on the hunt, and from what we've seen, that may well have been what they were hunting. Just food for thought. All right, we're making the descent back into the canyons from the ridge line. Oh. Some of you all have asked me about this jacket, City of Refuge, and I just want to give a quick shout out to my friends there. If you think what I'm going through is hard, imagine victims of abuse, poverty, victims of the slave trade, for lack of a better term. City of Refuge helps people at the lowest point in life, and it's a beacon of light, hope, and transformation. It was founded in Atlanta, but now has campuses in about 4 or 5 major cities around the nation. If you're interested in their mission and how they help people through housing, education, childcare, they basically are a one-stop shop for all the services people in need. And their stories of transformation from the lowest lows to people back on their feet again, buying their own homes, in a good job, reunited with their family. Those stories are inspiration to me and to many others. So if you feel so inclined, I'm going to put the top comment for this video. It's going to include a link to City of Refuge, because as I climb this hill, I honestly get teary-eyed thinking about the climb, the struggle that so many people face. Whether it's where they were born, a situation someone else put them into, or misfortune that derailed their whole life. There's few places on the whole earth that help these people as well as City of Refuge. So go check them out. Same canyon, different me.